Dear students, in the last class we have seen the fabrication of BiCMOS inverters, and now in this class we are going to know the electrical properties of NMOS transistor, and that is IDS versus VDS relationships. Now what is IDS and what is VDS? Let us see. VDS is the voltage applied between drain to source, and IDS is the current flowing from drain to source. And as we know from the current definition, it is the ratio of the charge induced divided by the transit time. So here, as we are going to know the current between drain to source, that means we are calculating the current which is existing in the channel. Now the current in the channel or current through the channel, which is equal to IDS equal to that is also equals to minus ISD. That means when you are calculating the current from source to drain, you have to take in the sign of the current will go minus, and that will be equals to the charge induced in the channel divided by the electron transit time. So the electron transit time is the time taken for the electron to cross the channel or to start from the source and to reach the drain. So the time taken for the electron to start from the source and to reach this drain, we can call it as electron transit time. And this ratio will give us the current induced in the channel, IDS. Okay. So now let us calculate the denominator value, and this denominator is electron transit time. That means the time taken for the electron to travel from source to drain. Okay. So as we know from the relation of velocity, distance and time, the time is equal to the distance divided by the velocity. So the electron traveled, the time is tau sd, and the length is, or the distance that the electron traveled is the length of the channel. So that means in order to travel from source to drain, it has to cross the channel, right? So that is the distance that the electron traveled. So the distance will become the length of the channel, and at which velocity it is going to travel means let us consider it as V, and let us name this as equation number 2. And coming to the velocity here, so velocity of electron, it is depending on the voltage which you are applying. So that means it completely depends on the electric field we are applying on the length, on that particular length. So that means we are applying the voltage VDS on a particular length L. So because we are applying the voltage to drain and source, so in between drain and source we are applying. So the distance will become the length of the channel L, and hence the electric field intensity is the voltage applied on a particular length or on a particular distance. So this will be the electric field intensity. So the electric field intensity EDS will become VDS by L, and as we know this velocity of charge carriers is directly proportional to the applied electric field intensity, and this proportionality constant we can call it as mobility. As we know here, V is equal to, or V is directly proportional to EDS, and V is equal to mu into EDS, where V is the velocity of electron and mu is the mobility of the carriers, and EDS is the applied electric field intensity. Okay, and this EDS is nothing but voltage applied on a particular length. So voltage here we are applying is VDS, and the length of the or the distance will be L. So now EDS will become VDS by L. So if you substitute this in V, the velocity will become mu into VDS by L. And if we substitute this velocity and the equation of tau SD. So tau SD will become L square by mu into VDS. So this is equation number 3. Okay, and here the electron mobility, suppose if you are calculating it for NMOS transistor, obviously the charge carriers will become electrons and the mobility of electrons will be mu n, which is 650 centimeter square per volt second. And if you are calculating this transit time for PMOS transistor, obviously the charge carriers will become holes and the mobility of holes will be 240 centimeters per volt second. And now as we see here from equation number 1, so in order to calculate IDS value, we require to calculate the charge induced, that means QC, and the electron transit time. So we have electron transit time tau SD from equation number 3, but now we need to calculate the numerator value, that means the charge induced in the channel QC we require to calculate. As we know, this QC value is going to change from saturation region to non-saturation region. Now let us calculate this value of QC in non-saturation region first, later we will calculate in the saturation region also. So now let us take the case 1. In non-saturation region we will be going to calculate the value of QC, and yes, here comes here we are coming to calculate it, and here we have a VGS applied at the gate, a VGS value we are applying at the gate, and a certain voltage will be required to establish the channel. That voltage is nothing but the threshold voltage. So net voltage present at the channel is VGS minus VT. So that is what here we can see. So this is the voltage, net voltage or effective gate voltage VG, which is equal to VGS minus VT. So the total voltage we are applying at the gate is VGS, and the voltage expenditure in order to create the channel is VT. So the net voltage or effective voltage present at the gate is VGS minus VT, right? And now we have some IR drop across this silicon dioxide layer. So what is that IR drop is? Just underneath this silicon dioxide layer, in the channel we will be having some voltage drop, and that voltage drop is approximately equal to VDS by 2. So VDS is the voltage applied between drain to source. So VDS by 2 is the IR drop we will be having in the channel. Okay, and so now we are calculating the charge induced in the channel per unit area only we are calculating. So whatever the charge Q is, epsilon E generally. So this Q per unit area is epsilon of that silicon dioxide layer into E. E here is applied electric field intensity. Applied electric field intensity which we are applying at the gate. Okay. So this Q is equal to epsilon into Eg. So here we are applying this electric field at the gate. So we are calling it as Eg, and also epsilon of the silicon dioxide layer. So generally while we are calculating the permittivity of any particular material, we need to take the relative permittivity of that particular material is multiplied with the free space permittivity, so that the epsilon, that means permittivity of this silicon dioxide layer will become epsilon ins into epsilon naught, where epsilon ins is the relative permittivity of this silicon dioxide layer. That means the value of it is approximately 4.0, and epsilon naught, it is permittivity of free space, whose value is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 14. And Eg is the applied electric field at the gate. Okay. And now we want to calculate the entire charge induced in the channel. So we have calculated the charge induced per unit area. Now if we want to calculate the total charge induced in the channel, we have to multiply the charge induced per unit area into the area of the channel, so that the QC will become the charge per unit area into the W into L. So W is the width of the channel and L is the length of the channel. So that W into L will become the area of the channel. This will be multiplied with the charge induced per unit area. So already we have calculated the charge induced per unit area, that means Q we have calculated, where Q is Eg into epsilon ins into epsilon naught into W into L will gives us the total charge induced in the channel. So let us say it as equation number 4. And now we need to calculate the average electric field applied at the gate. So this will become the voltage which we are applying at the gate, or the net voltage or the effective voltage which we will be having at the gate, and divided by on which thickness we are going to apply. Okay. So this Eg, the average electric field, will become, actually we have seen previously the Vgs is the voltage which we are applying at the gate, but Vt is the expenditure, voltage expenditure for creating the channel, and the IR drop we are having in the channel is Vds by 2. So net voltage present at the channel is Vgs minus Vt minus Vds by 2 is the net voltage present at the channel, and on which thickness we are applying, on which distance we are applying means this D is the thickness of the silicon dioxide layer. So on this thickness of, on this silicon dioxide thickness only we are applying this voltage Vgs minus Vt minus Vds by 2, and hence the electric field is will become Eg, this is Vgs minus Vt minus Vds by 2 by capital D, where capital D is the thickness of the oxide. So we can see here, this is what this D, the thickness of this oxide layer which is just beneath the polysilicon gate. And now let us substitute this Eg value in this equation number 4, that means in QC value, so that we will be having the value of QC as W into L into epsilon ins into epsilon naught by capital D into Vgs minus Vt minus Vds by 2. So let us substitute this QC value in equation number 1. So that means we have already calculated the denominator part as tau sd in equation number 3, and we have calculated QC value from equation number 6. So let us substitute equation number 6 and 3 in equation number 1. So equation number 6 will gives us the numerator part, and equation number 3 will gives us the denominator part of the equation number 1. So that we will be having the value of IDS. Let me read it. So IDS equal to epsilon ins into epsilon naught into mu by D into W by L into Vgs minus Vt minus Vds by 2 into Vds. So let us multiply this Vds into this equation, so that IDS equal to K into W by L. So let us have a factor here, K. So I will tell you now what is this K. K is epsilon ins into epsilon naught into mu by D. This K is a technology dependent parameter, and if we write IDS in terms of K, this will become IDS equal to K into W by L into Vgs minus Vt into Vds minus Vds square by 2. So let us name it as equation number 8, and let me write the value of beta here. So where this beta represents, it involves the geometry of the MOS transistor. where this beta is equal to K into W by L. So, if we write the IDS value in terms of beta, it will be IDS equal to beta into VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS square by 2. So, let us name it as equation number 9. So, let us write the same IDS in terms of CG and in terms of C naught. All the 4 equations are important. So, IDS in terms of K, IDS in terms of beta, IDS in terms of CG, IDS in terms of C naught. All these 4 equations are important. So, the gate or channel capacitance Cg, which is equal to epsilon ins into epsilon naught into mu into W into L by D. So, if we write K in terms of Cg, so K will become Cg into mu by WL. So, let us substitute K value in equation number 8, so that we will be having IDS equal to Cg into mu by L square into VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS square by 2. So, let us name it as equation number 10, and let us write the same equation in terms of unit gate capacitance or gate capacitance per unit area. So, C naught, which is equal to Cg by WL. So, this will become IDS into C naught into mu into W by L into VGS minus VT into VDS minus VDS square by 2. So, let us name it as equation number 11. So, all these 4, equation number 8, that means IDS in terms of K, equation number 9, IDS in terms of beta, equation number 10, that means IDS in terms of CG, equation number 11, that means IDS in terms of C naught. All these 4 equations are very, very important in examination point of view. And now, let us write all these 4 equations in terms of in the saturation region also. So, just simply by substituting a small condition, we can write all these 4 equations in saturation region also. So, the saturation begins at what voltage means? At VDS equal to VGS minus VT, this saturation will begins, and it will continue for VDS greater than VGS minus VT. So, let us substitute the condition of saturation in equation 9, 10, 11, not even in 8. So, we will be having IDS equal to K into W by L into VGS minus VT whole square by 2. That means IDS in terms of K in saturation region, and IDS equal to beta by 2 into VGS minus VT whole square, and IDS equal to Cg into mu by 2 into L square into VGS minus VT whole square, and also in terms of C naught means IDS equal to C naught into mu into W by 2L into VGS minus VT whole square. So, as we see all these equations here in the saturation region, the current IDS is independent of VDS now. So, when this saturation attained, after this saturation attained, this IDS will become constant with respect to VDS. So, that means even after even if we increase this VDS value, the current IDS will not change in the saturation region. It will become constant with respect to VDS value. Okay. And now, so let us see the equations, let us see the graphical representations of these IDS VDS characteristics. So, let us take the VI characteristics, that means output characteristics also we can call. So, VDS if we are taking on x axis and IDS if we are taking on y axis. So, whenever you are taking voltage and current characteristics, obviously the current in almost all the cases, voltage will be taken on x axis and the current will be taken on y axis. So, if we draw the VI characteristics of this NMOS depletion mode transistor, we will be having the characteristics like this. So, here we are taking a VGS constant. So if we are taking VGS equal to minus 0.3 VDD, so because this depletion type transistor is having the threshold voltage which is around minus 0.7 VDD or minus 0.6 VDD. So at this voltage VGS equal to minus 0.3 VDD, so the transistor will become on and we will be getting some currents. Here whenever this VDS is a small value, we will be having this current increased with the increment of VDS, but just after when this VDS equals to VGS minus VT, this current IDS will become constant here, as we can see here. And let us say VGS equal to minus 0.1 VDD. So if we are increasing this VDS value slowly, this IDS also increasing up to this voltage, and this dotted line, it indicates it separates the saturation and non-saturation regions. So when this VDS equal to VGS minus VT at this point, what happens here is this transistor will become in saturation mode and hence the current will become constant hereafter. Okay, and even this type of behavior will be continued even for VGS equal to 0 volts and even for VGS equal to 0.3 VDD also. And whatever the region at which this current is rising linearly with the voltage, that region we can call it as linear region or resistive region or non-saturation region. So this one, this region, okay. And the region at which the current became constant, we can call that region as saturation region. As we see here, the saturation region will be, it starts at VDS equal to VGS minus VT and it continues for VDS is greater than VGS minus VT. And here you can observe what is VGS, which is connected between gate to source, and VDS, which is connected between drain to source, and the current IDS, which is flowing from drain to source. Okay. And let us see the same characteristics. Let us observe for enhancement type transistor also. Okay. So if we observe the characteristics for enhancement type transistor, VDS will be going to take on x axis and IDS will be going to take on y axis. So as this enhancement type transistor is having a threshold voltage VGS equal to 0.2 VDD. So the current is going to start at this particular input voltage. So when this VGS equal to 0.2 VDD, we will be having some small current increased with the increment of VDS, and even if we take VGS equal to 0.4 VDD, so the current is going to increase slowly. So even after the whenever this VDS equal to VGS minus VT, the current will become constant hereafter. So same we can call whenever the current is increasing linearly with the output voltage, with the voltage VDS, that region we can call it as a resistive region or linear region or non-saturation region, this particular region. Okay. And whenever the current became constant with VDS, that region we can call it as a saturation region. Okay. So this is how we can have the relationship between IDS and VDS. Thank you.